بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. صباح الخير. اسمحوا لي أن ألقي الكلمة باللغة الإنجليزية كما تعودنا دائما. Good morning, everybody. Distinguished guests, friends and colleagues, it's a privilege to once again join you at the Abu Dhabi Strategic Debate. Let me begin by thanking the Emirates Policy Center for organizing this important forum and for the opportunity to address you today. Last year, I cautioned that the human cost of political choices in our region was rising, that indecision and division were too often paid for in the lives of ordinary people. Today, for the first time, hope is possible, but it depends on our ability to recognize the momentous geostrategic shifts reshaping our region and our world, and to turn them into tangible progress on the ground. Across the region, from Gaza to Sudan, Libya, Yemen, and the Levant, only political solutions can deliver lasting peace. There is no military path to stability. In Gaza and Sudan, the UAE has played a key role in shaping the international response. Through the Gaza Peace Plan and the Quad Initiative, and will continue to contribute to resolving regional crises through diplomacy and humanitarian action. The recent alignment of Arab and international partners behind U.S. leadership of the Gaza Peace Plan is in facilitating a ceasefire makes a historic opportunity, one that could finally begin to address the deep grievances extremists have exploited for decades. In Sudan, the Quad Initiative provides a robust framework to end the devastating conflict and pave the way for a permanent ceasefire, unhindered humanitarian access, and a transition to an independent civilian government. In Lebanon and Syria, shifting political realities open space for renewed purpose and perhaps new beginnings. The UAE's efforts, together with regional and international partners, exemplify what can be achieved when pragmatic, moderate forces unite in pursuit of peace and stability. We live in a dynamic region where East meets West, a hub of global trade and a driver of innovation, one in which the traditional arena of geopolitics is steadily giving way to the rising influence of trade, technology, and connectivity. At the heart of the UAE's approach lie three interlinked drivers that define both our foreign and domestic policy. First, our commitment to strategic autonomy, ensuring that rational national decisions reflect our priorities and interests within an increasingly complex and multipolar world. This principle allows the UAE to pursue balanced, independent policies that protect our sovereignty while building constructive partnerships across all regions. Second, an economic vision anchored in building a globally competitive, diversified, and sustainable economy, one that enhances resilience, creates opportunity for future generations, and consolidates the UAE's position as a leading hub for trade, investment, and innovation. Third, an ambitious technological drive focused on innovation, investment, and international partnerships that place the UAE at the forefront of the future economy by embedding artificial intelligence, advanced industries, and digital transformation into our national strategy. We're not only preparing for the future, but we are helping to shape it. Together, these three pillars, strategic autonomy, economic competitiveness, and technological ambition, form the foundation of a forward-looking UAE policy, confident in its identity, global in its outlook, and steadfast in its pursuit of stability, progress, and human advancement. This strategic vision is anchored in a long-term commitment to building a safe, secure, and prosperous future for generations ahead, powered by investment in innovation, technology, artificial intelligence, sustainable energy, and human capital. As COP30 continues in Brazil, the UAE also continues to champion practical climate solutions, not through slogans, but through technology, investment, and genuine international cooperation. As a leading hub for entrepreneurs and innovators, the UAE stands for a bridge for peace, stability, and shared prosperity in the Middle East and beyond. As a champion of free and open trade, the UAE remains committed to a rules-based international system, strong multilateral institutions, and sustainable economic growth. We actively engage in platforms such as the G20 and BRICS, vital venues for reinforcing global economic connectivity. Economic partnerships are pillars of stability, and our growing network of comprehensive economic partnership agreements, CEPAs, reflects this commitment. The 31 CEPAs concluded by the UAE to date are central to our ambition of doubling the size of our economy by 2030, accelerating diversification and ensuring non-oil sector contribute over 75% of GDP, while delivering mutual growth and opportunity. But growth alone is not enough. The future belongs to those who dare to innovate. Humanity must embrace transformative technologies that unite rather than divide. A central part of this effort is the new US AI campus in Abu Dhabi, one of the world's largest AI data centers and a cornerstone for scalable future-ready technology. Likewise, our recent multi-billion euro partnerships with France, Italy, and others in AI infrastructure demonstrate our commitment to building a global ecosystem of innovation. Our engagement also extends across continents. Africa, with its young, dynamic population and fast-growing economies, is a vital partner. The UAE is proud to be one of Africa's largest investors, supporting connectivity, innovation, and skills developments for shared benefits. Beyond our region, we remain deeply committed to diplomacy. From the outset of the Russia-Ukraine conflict, the UAE has consistently called for dialogue, de-escalation, and negotiated settlement. We share the global concern for civilian suffering and continue to work with partners to alleviate hardship, including facilitating the exchange of over 4,600 captives between both sides. Ladies and gentlemen, our region stands at a decisive inflection point. After decades of conflict and despair, we face a rare chance to chart a new course, to replace the division with dialogue and despair with development. The lessons of recent years are clear. Extremist policies and maximalist demands are recipes for endless violence. Nowhere is this clearer than in Gaza. Over the past 2 years, the UAE has stood firmly with the Palestinian people, delivering humanitarian aid and advocating for a political pathway to lasting peace. Today, the Gaza peace plan, imperfect but significant, has achieved a ceasefire and secured the release of Israeli hostages and Palestinian prisoners. This plan requires all of us, led by the United States, to deliver real change for the people of Gaza and for all Palestinians, and to chart a clearer horizon towards a two-state solution. The Palestinians have suffered enough. They deserve justice and peace and a state living side by side with a secure Israel. The region remains fragile, yet there is reason for cautious optimism. Progress depends on reaffirming the principles of the Abraham Accords: dialogue, coexistence, and cooperation, the only sustainable path to peace and a viable Palestinian state. The agreement in Gaza must be a beginning, not an end. The roadmap is needed to restore stability, revive Palestinian governance under a reformed authority, and sustain US-led and Arab-supported engagement. The UAE does not yet see a clear framework for the stability force, and under such circumstances will probably not participate in such a force, but will support all political efforts towards peace and remain at the forefront of humanitarian aid. Throughout the war, the UAE acted, not observed, delivering over $2.57 billion in aid, accounting for over 45% of all humanitarian assistance to Gaza by land, air, and sea. This is a source of pride for every Emirati. In the post-war phase, these efforts must not only continue, but scale up alongside stabilization and reconstruction. So there is an urgent humanitarian and political crisis. In El Fasher and other areas of this vast country, the vicious civil war has resulted in indescribable devastation and violence. This war must stop now, and accountability must be upheld. The UAE has been clear: there is no military solution. We support an inclusive, Sudanese-led transition to civilian rule, fully independent of the warring parties. We stand with the United Sudan and continue to voice concerns over re-establishing the military Ikhwan dictatorship of previous decades. Through the Quad Initiative, with the partnership of the United States, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, and the Arab Republic of Egypt, we're advancing a phased plan and initial truce for aid delivery, leading to a permanent ceasefire and a transparent transition toward civilian government. In spite of ongoing disinformation campaigns and attempts to misrepresent our political position and humanitarian work, our commitment to peace and the Sudanese people must remain steadfast. Humanitarian aid must flow unhindered to every corner of Sudan without obstruction and must be safeguarded from any form of military interference. Condemnation must be matched by action. Our priorities are clear: immediate ceasefires in the region, scaled up humanitarian aid, and viable political horizon for the crises of the region, from Palestine to Sudan, from Yemen to Libya to the Levant. The UAE will continue to prioritize diplomacy, mediation, and dialogue, and to reject military solutions to political crises. Turning vision into reality requires focus and delivery. The UAE's approach rests on three strategic pillars. First, humanitarian priorities must advance alongside political stabilization. In Gaza, this means building the foundations for a just, lasting peace based on the two-state solution. In Sudan, it means pairing inclusive political transition with massive humanitarian support. Second, regional security must be comprehensive and cooperative. The UAE remains committed to de-escalation and long-term stability, grounded in dialogue, capable state institutions, and the rejection of militias and non-state actors. We must view our region through the prism of moderation versus extremism. True progress will come from states that deliver opportunity and stability, not from those who weaponize chaos. In Syria and Lebanon, glimmers of hope exist. In Yemen and Libya, only a political path can deliver peace and consensus for the future. Failure to build capable states invites extremism. Success requires investment, open markets, and resilience. The recent Iranian and Israeli strikes on Qatar underscore the need for a collective Gulf security architecture. Our Gulf security is indivisible, a shared responsibility, essential to regional stability. We must work collectively to protect it as we see changes in the international and regional landscape, as well as in threat perceptions and capabilities. Third, the role of the United States remains indispensable. U.S. leadership is essential in Gaza, Sudan, and other crises in the region. At the same time, the UAE's diversified partnership reflects our commitment to balanced, constructive engagement with all. Distinguished colleagues, the choices we make today will define whether the Middle East remains a source of crisis or becomes a cornerstone of global stability, economic growth, and human advancement. We must move decisively from ceasefire to peace dividend, from pauses and violence to a future of dignity and shared prosperity. Our vision is steadfast, a stable, prosperous Middle East that contributes to global peace. This has long been the vision of our President, His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, a leadership rooted in realism, humanity, and unwavering commitment to peace. It is time to turn the page on cynicism and despair. Let us choose purpose over paralysis, resolve over hesitation, and partnership over division. The future will belong not to those trapped by history, but to those determined to shape it. Thank you very much.